Hey everybody, welcome to the Waldock Way. I'm Jessica, and today's video is going to be our February morning basket. So you guys normally don't get to see my face on morning basket videos because I normally just show you the basket because there is so much stuff in it. This month is a little bit of an exception because I wanted to tell you guys why we chose what we chose. So I looked at our February calendar and at everything that was going on in February, and there was too much for me to decide. It was Black History Month, and there was Valentine's Day, and there was President's Day, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't pick, and I didn't want to do them all. So I went to Emily and I said, all right, Emily, here is February's calendar. Here's everything going on in February. What would you like our morning basket to focus on? And she looked, and I think it's like February 11th happens to be National Inventor Day. And of all of the things that I was planning for February basket, that was not one of them. That wasn't even one I was trying to decide on. But she saw it on the calendar and she said, Mom, let's do an Inventor and Inventions basket. How cool would that be? So that's what we are going to be doing for the month of February because we follow her lead. Now, we will still be reading through books and talking about Black history. We will still probably have an entire day for Valentine's Day devoted to Valentine's School. We will still probably do President's Day for President's Day. So we're not doing those things. We're just going to be focusing on inventors and inventions for the month of February because Emily saw the calendar. That was National Inventors Day, and that is what appealed to her. So without further ado, I'm going to turn you around and I'm going to show you our February inventor basket. So each month I show you guys what is in our morning basket in video and on blog, and somewhere I always get some of the same similar questions. Kind of, you know, how do we get through everything? Do we do everything every day? Wow, that looks like so much. How long is your morning time? So I thought this month, because every month our morning basket is a little bit different, and because every month we use different components in different ways, I thought I would walk you through exactly what my plan is for this basket, kind of how we're going to get through it and the order we're going to do things. And then I am planning on coming back halfway through the month and doing a do morning basket with us video. So I'm going to tell you what my plan is, and then midway through the month I will actually have you guys join me for morning basket in kind of like a real-time video. So our morning basket always starts with Emily eating breakfast. That's just kind of how we've always done it. I always grab something quick like a muffin or a banana, and she has a more sit down type of meal. I'm not a morning person. She is. By breakfast time, she's ready for a full meal, and I'm not. So it works out well. So while she's eating breakfast, we normally start with our devotion, which this month is going to be How Great Is Our God? 100 indescribable devotions about God and science. In case you have never seen inside this, indescribable is equally as amazing. You get a Bible verse, a devotion, a prayer, and then there's always kind of a little science factoid going on as well. So we absolutely love these. I highly recommend them. We have been loving trivia lately, so we decided to throw it in our morning basket this month. So we have Quiz Whiz, 1000 super fun, mind-bending, totally awesome trivia questions. And these go through, let me just show you so you can see some of animal intelligence around the world, pop culture, the great outdoors, time machine, number crunchers, which is like math kind of stuff. It's not rocket scientists, and amazing adventure. So this covers a ton of stuff. And each kind of topic is a 2-page spread. It's about 10 to 15 questions, so that's what we will do, is just one spread a day. After that, we will read a poem from the Incredible Inventions, poems selected by Lee Bennett Hopkins. Actually, I said we will read a poem, but that is not completely correct. Let me show you what my plan is. So each poem, there's only about 12 in here, but each poem is actually about an invention. So this is called To Puzzling, which is going to be about jigsaw puzzles. And in the back of the book, there is a behind the invention section. So there is a paragraph about each of the poems you read and the thing that it's about. So my plan is that we will take 2 days. So like one day we'll read the poem, the next day we'll read the behind the inventions, and then we will go on like that. So the next day we'll read Ode to Blue Jeans, and then Blue Jeans the day after that. That way we're spending about 2 days between the poem and the meaning behind it. Normally, sometime about now, Emily is getting done with breakfast and we begin our read aloud. When we start our read alouds, Emily is free to move to the floor or to the coffee table to play with something that I have kind of left out for her that's quiet activities. I will show you what I have selected for this month in just a moment. These are the read alouds that I'm hoping we get through this month. So this month, the read alouds I have chosen mainly go with some curriculum we're going to be using. Because we're doing Inventors and Inventions, I chose Unit 7 from Passport to More Adventures. This is Night of the New Magicians by Merlin Missions, by the Magic Tree House Merlin Missions. In this book, Jack and Annie go to the World Fair and they meet Alexander Graham Bell and Thomas Edison, Gustave Eiffel, and Louis Pasteur. So we will be reading through this, as well as who was Alexander Graham Bell and who was Thomas Edison. This will be the first half of the month. I will read probably about one chapter in this book and then about one chapter in these until I'm done with all 3 of these. This will be what we do during morning time. Now after morning time, when we do table time, we will obviously be working through the Passport to More Adventures unit from this and each of these who was units. So that's kind of what our curriculum for this month will be. This should only take us half of the month. So once we finish those, we will move on to the Unit 10, which is a Monday with a Mad Genius, which is about Leonardo da Vinci. So again, we will read a chapter here and a chapter here. And then after morning time, when we're doing table time, we will do the unit from Passport to More Adventures and the Who Was unit. All of these are available in my shop, which will be linked in the blog post. I will also read a small section of the story of Inventions. I just love how this is told in a chronological order. So we will just read through sections of this at a time. And then I will also read from Mistakes That Worked, 40 Familiar Inventions and How They Came to Be. We will only read one a day, so this is one we may not get through all 40. I mean, if she really wants to keep reading, we can. But I just thought it would be really fun for her to see all of the things that were supposed to be mistakes that ended up being really, really awesome. So my goal is for us just to read through one of these a day. But again, if she wants to read more, we can. And then also read one a day from Girls Think of Everything, Stories of Ingenious Inventions by Women. This is gorgeous. Each story is about 4 to 5 pages, so it's not super long. It shouldn't take us very long to get through them. I think there's about 15, so I expect that we would get through this entirely. After I have read those, Emily will have the choice of picking the picture book we will read that day. My goal is to read one picture book a day. And so at that point, she will get up, pick a picture book, and that's kind of her cue to know that it's time to be wrapping up whatever her hands-on item selection for that day has been. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the hands-on things first. One of the first things I have selected for her is this Inventors and Their Inventions puzzle. It is a timeline of all the inventors and their inventions, and it just looked like so much fun. I'm actually kind of hoping that she needs help just so I can do this with her. She will also have all of the coloring pages from the Who Was unit. So we have the coloring page for Alexander Graham Bell, Thomas Edison, Leonardo da Vinci. She'll have the coloring pages for the Passport to More Adventures units as well. So there'll be 2 more coloring pages from that for her. And then I went ahead and picked up her very first snap circuits. I got the Snap Circuit Junior just because I wanted it to be something she could do independently, since she will hopefully be doing this while I'm reading aloud. So this was the first one I picked up for her. It's just got 100 different electronic projects. And then the last thing I picked up for her for hands-on was this Zoob Builders Inventors Kit. So it's kind of specifically for, you know, being able to make your own inventions, build it, move it, Zoob it. I thought this would be really, really fun, and it happened to be on sale. So if she enjoys it, I'm sure we'll be adding more Zoobs to our collection soon. All right, I'm going to show you a few of the picture books that I picked out. I will list them in detail in the blog post. There's just so many of them, but I picked really fun ones. So we have ones like Have you thanked an inventor today? Oh, the things they invented. Pop, the invention of bubblegum. The house that cleaned itself. The girl who thought in pictures. Mr. Ferris and his wheel. And then this is my favorite. I can't wait to read this one. The marvelous things that came from a spring. So these are just some of the fun ones that we have. I have a huge stack full of just really fun invention type books like that. The other thing that we will do, there's actually kind of 3 things that we'll do at the table. The first of which will be our Big Life journal. So normally at this point, she has eaten breakfast. I've read for about 30 minutes while she did hands-on stuff. We have cleaned up whatever she was doing while I was reading, and we can kind of sit down at the coffee table or even on the couch together with a pencil and begin doing her Big Life journal. We used to try to do this in the beginning of our morning basket, but it just didn't flow very well. She normally had like a mouthful of food, or she wasn't ready to pick up a pencil yet, or it just wasn't working. So moving this towards the end has worked a lot better for us, and we love our Big Life journal. And then we will play a game together. So I have 3 inventor type games that we will be playing. Obviously, if you guys have been around the Waldock way any length of time, you know we're going to play a ton of games, but we will make it a point to make sure we play these frequently throughout the month. We have the timeline Inventions, which is really, really fun because it includes all of the kind of normal inventions you're used to, but then it also includes things like stone cutting and the invention of the Canon and the invention of volatile pile and the invention of the crossword puzzle. So there's just all kinds of really fun additional things that aren't like the norm. Professor Noggin's Inventions. I will go ahead and tell you that this is one of the Professor Noggins that is out of print. It took me a lot to track this one down, which is probably the only reason you still see it in a box, because it was out of print and it took me forever to find it. Semi-reasonably priced. I haven't had the guts to throw the box away yet like I normally do. In case you have never seen Professor Noggin, they are these amazing trivia cards. They have a picture on the front, and on the back they have easy and hard questions. So you choose beforehand which you're going to play. We normally try to play easy for the first half of the month and then switch to hard the second half of the month. You just roll a dice and answer whichever number you get. And then our last one is Brain Box Inventions. This one again is a lot of fun as well. You get to pick a card and you get, I believe it's 10 seconds. It's however long the sand timer is. And you get to study this card for that long. After the sand timer has gone up, you turn it over, you roll the dice, and you try to answer that question. So let's say we rolled a 1, we would have to say, see who is credited with this invention. And you have to try to remember that from studying the front of the card. So, a lot of fun. A lot of brain work and memory work going on there. These are the 3 games that I have for our table time. Now, if at this point we still have time, I know we're not going to have time every single day because some days, you know, we're going to read more or she's going to be into what she's doing with her hands on. But I also have the I Drew It, Then I Knew It Inventors from Chalk Pastel You Are an Artist plan. So for days that we have a little bit of extra time, once we have done our basket and our game, and we still have like a little bit more time before I would like to call it quits, which I normally try to cap morning basket at an hour, then that is when we will do our art, which will be from the Chalk Pastel I Drew It, Then I Knew It Inventors pack.